Hey everybody, coming at you from the great outdoors. And I'm beside a creek that I don't get to come to very often. Today I have something that I am so excited about. And what it is I was dropping some donations off at a thrift store, dropping off some old clothes and stuff. And I couldn't resist but to go in and look around. And so I went in and I looked around, and lo and behold, I could not believe it. I found a Miratex one-man boat. And this thing is like, it's made in Japan. And I'm gonna aim the camera down and I'm gonna give you a little bit closer look at this thing, and I'm gonna talk about it a little bit more. But we're gonna test this out. It's in the original packaging, and it's at least 40 years old. I mean, this is like a find of a lifetime. So we're gonna get you down. I'm gonna show it to you a little bit better, and then we're gonna pump it up and we're gonna test it out. All right, I got you down here a little bit closer. So let's take a look at this thing right here now. This says, this is being shot. Okay, Miratex one-man boat, made of heavy gauge virgin film by Miratex, full-size chambers for maximum flotation. This is a Sword Fish, number 5331. Great fun on the beach and in the pool. 5331, 60 by 40. Now it's got the original price tag right here. I have no idea if you can see it or not. It's still attached. I'm gonna try to fold it down a little bit. Oh, it's about broke off. $13.65. Look at that. Oh, it's fixing to break off. I might as well go ahead and pull it off. I'm gonna put that in my pocket. I don't want it to go nowhere. But they were selling it for $4.99. But it's mind-boggling. And this thing, I honestly would put this thing at like in the 70s, but I'm gonna say 80s. So that's 40 years old. If it was made in 83, that'd be 40 years old, but it's gotta be 40 plus years old. And I can't believe it's still in the original bag, but it's printed on it. It says made in Japan. Look, Swordfish. But it weighs 4 pounds. And I've always kind of wanted a one-man raft that wasn't too heavy, that I could carry in my pack for getting across rivers or down creeks or things. And if this thing holds up, it's not very big, 60 by 40. But it says printed on it right here, made in Japan. Made in Achilles, Japan. Made in Japan. It says Achilles on it. But I figure that, you know, most of the stuff that came over here made in Japan was in the 50s. So anyway, this thing here though, it's cool. And it's thick. But I've got that. And then in my let's see, I also brought a 40-year-old backpacker stove. So I could show you that. In case the raft sinks, then we'll still have a video that we can do. But now, I paid $5 for the raft. And then these are some oars that I bought for $5.90 on clearance years ago. And they're pretty lightweight too. Like I said, I got tents and sleeping bags that weigh about this amount. But we're going to try to blow this up and go downstream with it and see what happens. Look, I already got mud on it. But anyway, we're going to blow it up. I'm going to see if I can, we're going to see if it floats or if it sinks. And I think this is a good place to do it here because this creek is only like 2 feet deep. That if it sinks, I can walk out all wet. All right, so let's blow this up and take a look at it. Now these little paddles, they just kind of screw together. So I'm gonna pull all this out, and I've screwed one of them together. So let's see. This thing goes. This goes here. That's the drip ring. Keep it from dripping everywhere. All right, so that screws in, and then here's the end. Screws on. All right, so that's how that goes. That makes a pretty long oar, or some would call it a paddle. And that thing just, I mean, it's a hollow, thin plastic. That thing don't weigh much. And I don't have oar locks on this boat like my bigger raft. So what I'll do is I'll just wrap it around like that. And this rope that's on it, I'll use that as an oar lock. Oar lock, sounds like a warlock. Now, I bought this thing from Lowe's, which is cool. Rather than having a hand pump or one of those small bellows. Now, when I'm actually backpacking with this thing, I'll use the small bellows. But since I'm not going real far, I brought this. And I'm not bringing, you know, I don't have any overnight camping equipment. But this thing's made by Cobalt. It's pretty cool. See, let's plug up, let's blow up the bottom first. All right, well, the little bottom part blew up okay, so now let's blow up the body of it. So far, so good. Alright, let's take a look at this thing now. That's pretty heavy. It's not very big. Now, a lot of people, they think that this is the back of the raft and this is the front of the raft, and it kind of looks like it because this always has a point on it with the rope where you pull it. But actually, this is where you want your butt and your feet there, because it's like you want to sit in it backwards. That's just kind of something that I've learned. Now I'm gonna let that sit there for just a minute. And then I'm gonna put my put the other oar together, and then I'm gonna put everything back into the wet dry bag. I think we're gonna carry it up there. It's kind of muddy right here, so I'm gonna carry it up there where those rocks are and try to get in it and float around a little bit. And if we can, we're gonna float downstream, because I think we're not too far from the river. So this is so cool. 40-year-old raft still in the package. It's mind-boggling. And the canvas seems like it's in pretty good shape. I mean, this is just, it's amazing. And then when we get down there, we're going to make coffee on a 40-year-old backpacking stove with a 40-year-old percolator. The percolator might be close to 50. All right, so here we go. 40-plus-year-old Miratex Sword Fish raft. Let's try this out. Let's see. Alright, so I got a nice rock here that I'm using for kind of like, I don't know, a dock, nature's dock. So let's try this out. How am I going to get into this? I got to get in it without getting wet. Let's see. Do I just plop in? Maybe I'll put it right here. Yeah, I think, yeah, this will be better. I'll do it this way. Let's try this. I'll put my feet in first. And just kind of, oh yeah, that ain't too bad. My feet up here. All right. Well, I'm floating. Now let's see if I can do that thing. some. Forward, back. I was getting out of sync. Okay, I'm gonna put it forward. Wait a minute. All right. Now that was, to say the least, that was very eventful. Now I got in and then I got out, no big deal. But what I'm going to do now, the oar lock thing didn't work out too good, so I don't know, I'm going to have to work on that. I may have to add something to it. But I'm going to jump in now and paddle around now so you can kind of see what it looks like. And I think what I'm going to do this time is I'm going to put the dry bag in my lap to see if it's even feasible to use this as a backpacking raft. If I can, you know what I'm saying, get into the raft and actually carry my gear with me. So we're going to try that, and then I'm going to paddle on out here. How'd I do that? All right. Now this ain't ideal. This ain't ideal by any means. Let's see if I can undo this. I may wind up being better off just using these paddles just by hand. Yeah, I think that's what it's going to be. Now, I am dry as a bone, and I have drugged this over a couple of rocks, and so far nothing's happened. And as you can see, I've got a 30-liter dry bag right here. So it's held up me and the weight of all this. So that's pretty cool. Oh no, I just dipped my sleeve in the water. This may not be a wintertime deal. But anyway, I'm gonna paddle back up here and then move the camera downstream, and then we're gonna travel on downstream, and I'm gonna find a better spot to make coffee. All right, the raft is still in one piece, still blown up. My elbows got wet because I was dipping them in the water, because this thing doesn't really, I don't know, you're down pretty low to the water, but I stayed dry. My pants are dry, my shirt's dry, so that's pretty good. So it held me up. And definitely, if you lock them in with these, it's harder to do. It's easier just to straight up just paddle with them, because once you get going, you can really move. So I'm gonna set the camera up further downstream, and we're gonna go downstream because I've never been past this spot. It's kind of like a canyon here, but years ago, we're in a drought right now, so I'm surprised there's water here. But years ago, this was a really good fishing hole. But I'm gonna paddle downstream, and I'm gonna shorten the paddles, and I'm gonna see how fast I can get going. And see if this thing, and I have drug this all over rocks. So that's a very, very tough material. You know, if it was in the sunlight, it probably wouldn't be in this good a shape, but I guess it was stored maybe in somebody's basement or something. So let's give that a try. Once you're in the raft, you can fly, but getting in and out is rough. All right, so we've got the boat up on high ground. I mean, yeah, out of the water, and then we're up on high ground here. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look and see what we have in this bag. Alright, I got my little table that y'all saw last time. Move that up a little bit. 40-year-old Comet Percolator. Some other stuff in here. Let's see. Alright, so let's see if we can set this table up right here. Let's adjust this thing down a little bit. Try to see what I'm doing. Now we're on a hill. We're on a hill. I'm going to see. This little table's great for areas like this where the leaves are all rampant. Ta-da! How's that? That's too much. I need a small stick to fit under there. I wonder if I can do it that way. Nah. Let me find a smaller stick to put underneath this table. Here we have Now I know for a fact that this percolator is 40, maybe 50 years old. It's a Comet, and I don't know if it's a 5-cup or a 6-cup. Because when I bought this, I actually bought this at a thrift store, and it was still in the original packaging, and it said like 1975 on it. So what we're gonna do here, all right, now this is a SVEA I think it's a SVEA 123. Look, we got some coffee here. This is Grand Cafe Creme Brulee, caramel with hints of sweet maple and vanilla infused custard. All right, and then we have, this is the star of the show. This is a SVEA 123. It's even got the little factory cup that you can drink out of, the little handle, or for cooking. This thing is so old. Isn't that cool? That's the cup it comes with. I probably won't use that. I think I packed a different cup. But now the way this thing works is, man, how did the key get down inside there? I think this, okay, this comes off and the key falls out. All right, now the way this thing works, people asked about these things or have asked me about these, but you put the fuel in, and then this little key right here goes on and opens it up. Now there's no pump in here. This is not a pressurized vessel. And so what people have asked me before is, how do you prime that thing to get it going? Well, this is how you prime it to get it going. You take some lighter fluid, Nick's favorite, and you pour it in this little reservoir at the top, just like that. And then you light it. And what that does is, that preheats the stem. Oh, don't tell me it ain't lighting. That preheats the stem. There it goes. That preheats the stem and makes it to where you can open it up. And once it preheats that stem, like I said, you open this thing up and you can hear the flames coming off. And the cool part about it is, I better go ahead and put this on before it gets too hot. Well, actually this should go through this window. Oh, I made a boo-boo. I'm probably gonna get burnt doing this. This is not how you do this. This is gonna get so hot here. You're supposed to have this thing on, and I didn't. Okay, now there, it's open, so I can get this thing in. So let's cut it on. There it goes. Hear it? Oh. There it goes. And as it warms up, it kind of sounds like a helicopter. Isn't that cool? I think it'll calm down here in a minute. Let's put some water in here so that we won't be wasting our flames. Let's perk us up some coffee. That is a familiar sound right there to a lot of old-timey backpackers. All right, got me a filter here. There's a cup I'll be using. Let's see. Let's push this in here. I don't grind my own coffee, so I have to use, you know, I have to use a filter to try to keep some of it out. But anyway, this, like I said, this Comet percolator is 40 to 50 years old. Now they still make this design of stove right here, but they're made in like China or somewheres, or Japan or somewheres. They're not made in Sweden. This one is actually stamped in the brass. It actually says Sweden on it. Smells pretty good. Alright, so let's put that in there. Put this on. Then put the lid on. And then hopefully pretty soon we'll have us some coffee. Alright, that's it. Now I'm going to cut you off while it's perking. Now you folks that's been backpacking for 40 or 50 years, y'all tell me, mention in the comment section, is that or is that not a familiar sound of those weekends up on the mountain, or those weekends, you know, out in the woods, or for me, those weekends out in the swamp where you got this thing attached to a tree? Hey, well, it's starting to percolate. We're gonna have coffee here in a few minutes. Coffee by the creek. Dave's day off. Oh, you're supposed to pull the key off because the key gets hot if you leave it on there. I had to cut it down a little bit. It was pretty wide open, and what I do normally is with a SVEA or SVEA or however you pronounce it, I run it wide open until I get it to start percolating, and then I'll cut it down, and now it's got that familiar helicopter sound. Let's pull it off and see how dark it is. See if it's ready. Oh yeah. Nah, maybe a little more. Man, I brought the wrong cup. I brought the piece of junk. I can't even touch that. It's burning my hand. So I'm going to use the original. Let's put in just a touch of water because that's a little strong. Good thing I got another coffee filter. I'm going to pour that in there. Oh yeah, that ought to be perfect now. And then you take this thing and you just reach up under it. So I should have brought my double wall cup, but I guess it's kind of fitting that since I used an ancient Raft and an ancient backpacker stove and an ancient percolator, that I use the ancient cup that comes with it. Whew, that's still too hot. I'm gonna let that sit for a while. Oh, one thing I want to show you real quick. I wore these boots. Somebody had asked me one time, they said, I can't remember who it was now. Might have been Clay, I think. But anyway, it was in the comment section. And they said, what is the absolute lightest weight boot for hiking or backpacking or survival or whatever? And I said, I know people throw around these names all the time that become household names like North Face and Columbia and Under Armour and all this. But actual Under Armour Hover, H-O-V-R. So I wore them today. I'll show them to you real quick. Anyway, these are them. Under Armour Hover. or hover. I got a HOVR on the side. I got mud all over these. So I'm getting the top of that. They're literally like wearing sneakers. They're the lightest weight boots that I own. They are really like sneakers. They're like high top sneakers in a way, but they got a whole lot more, what do you call it? Support than sneakers. But anyway, that answers that question. All right, let's see if this is cooled off enough. Cheers. Ah, man, that is good. That is so good. So anyway, hope you enjoyed all this antique stuff. It was definitely fun for me. We'll run back down there real quick and see if the raft is floating. I mean, inflated. Well, actually, it's my way out of here. Unless I want to walk along the creek, and it's pretty rocky. So anyway, hope you had fun. Hope you enjoyed life. I mean, I hope you get out and enjoy life and enjoy your family while you can. Enjoy coffee, and you don't have to have brand new equipment. Buy good equipment, and it lasts you 30, 40 years. I don't know about that thing, the way I've been dragging it over the rocks, but we'll see. So take it easy, enjoy life, and we shall see you in the next one. The swordfish stayed inflated.